Hello, my name's Gail Berry, and I'm an international expert on baby massage and baby yoga. And for the last 20 years, I've been helping to teach the power of love to millions of parents and babies across the world through my global community at Blossom and Berry. We are a global family of over 2,000 teachers all across the world, and we hold safe space for parents and babies to come together to connect somatically through baby massage and baby yoga. And in more recent years, by really connecting babies to nature at the very start of life, which I like to call earth bonding. So there are so many things that I would love to share on in a masterclass, but I only have this one opportunity now to share with you. So I was thinking, how do I combine many of the things that I am passionate about with babies into one powerful masterclass for you? And the things that, from my research and my embodied experience over the last 20 years, that I feel are fundamental to a paradigm shift in humanity by looking at how we treat babies are the critical window of time called the first 1001 days, which is between conception and two. Somatic practices which help parents and babies connect through the heart to help parents come out of their head and into their bodies through practices like breath work, yoga, massage, nurturing touch, and also the power of nature, which is here for us at all times, the ultimate mother who is waiting for us to return home so that we can truly find ourselves, connect with our babies, connect with our brothers and sisters in community, and therefore bring greater connection across the planet. So I want to weave all those things together in this masterclass with you. And I suppose I want to start by talking about why we need to act now and why it's so important to look at the beginning of life rather than dealing with many of the traumas, the limiting beliefs, negative patterns, the sense of separation that occurs later on in life when perhaps we haven't felt a sense of being seen, heard, that we are loved, that we belong, and that we're accepted at the beginning of life. And for me, this is fundamental to how we change the world, one baby at a time. So currently here in the UK, mental health issues are costing the NHS almost 17 billion pounds. 1 in 5 new mothers is being diagnosed with postnatal depression or something related to mental health after having a baby. 1 in 10 new fathers have a mental health challenge. We know that the global wellness industry is now worth over $7 trillion. That's what it's valued to be at by this time next year. So as human beings, we know we have a problem on our hands. And we're even investing in ourselves as adults to try to fix the problem. But I believe that there's one simple way to do this, and that's by going right back to the beginning and really making sure that every baby feels that they are seen, that they're heard, that they matter, they're important, and that they are loved. And because love is cross-cultural, intergenerational, available to us in abundant flow at all times, in all places, I believe that this is the medicine that as parents we can offer our babies. And in that way, parents are humanitarian leaders. We are the game changers. We are the paradigm shifters when we realize how powerful connected parenting is, responsive parenting is, nurturing care is, and being with your baby, simply being with your baby is. So what science and research tells us is that there's a critical window of opportunity in the first 1001 days from conception to birth where love and nurturing care really matters. And it's during this time that babies' brains are developing most rapidly. Every single second, 1 million neurons are being created, and emotional and social intelligence is developing. And basically, babies are learning about the world, how the world works, where they belong within the world, social interaction, and they're building a sense of themselves. Now, I believe that when babies come down to this earth, they are 100% love. They are a divine spark of consciousness. Yes, we carry different patterns through our ancestral lineage, through our DNA, but the science of epigenetics And a lot of the work of Bruce Lipton, who's one of my real heroes, tells us now that rather than it being a kind of a balance of nature and nurture, we now know that nurture actually profoundly affects the way that our genes express. So love and nurturing care in this first 1001 days of life is profoundly important to us as individual human beings. In fact, what happens to us in the first 1001 days of life affects the other 30,000 days of our life. So this is why the greatest gift that you could ever give your child and yourself is love and connection and nurturing care. This is what we know. It's not the new way. It's the old way. It's the forever way. It's what we are born to do as human beings, is to care for each other deeply, to co-create. We're social creatures. We're designed to play together, eat together, sleep together. We're designed to co-regulate our nervous systems through powerful modalities like nurturing touch, like sharing our stories, like eye contact, like song, like movement. All of these things are the medicine that has always been with us, but has been lost through an erosion of community and a sense of separation. So once you become aware of this critical 1001 days, you realize that we have got 1001 days to save the world, because every day over 380,000 babies are being born. So humanity is literally renewing itself every day. So that is why this is such a hopeful time. With this awareness, we can make changes. And as I said, these changes just start with us as parents recognizing how important we are and activating the power of nurturing care to be present with our babies. And one of the biggest challenges that parents face right now is a sense of overwhelm, a sense of anxiety. As I mentioned, those mental health challenges that are coming up. Now, many parents think this is because there's something wrong with them, or they can't cope, or there's a lot of comparison. There's a lot of ideologies about what we should be doing as parenting. But in actual fact, a lot of the feelings that arise when you've had a baby is coming from a sense of isolation. We are not designed as parents to parent in isolation. Only 200 years ago, we practiced something called alloparenting, and it is practiced in many Indigenous cultures around the world still. But in the West, it's very rare to find this. So alloparenting is where the responsibility of parenting is shared over 5 or 6 people. So if you imagine that a baby is this beautiful seed of potential that is planted in the collective soil of the family, of the community, and then cross-fertilized by 5 or 6 different people with different beautiful gifts and medicines and skills and abilities. So rather than parenting feeling like this huge responsibility, this burden that you have to carry, it actually feels like joy. It feels like love. It feels like an opportunity to co-create, which is what I believe. Of course, as parents, we are biologically programmed to do this because we want to nurture our children to their full potential, because that's what is in our hearts. So the erosion of alloparenting, the erosion of the community, means that it feels so much harder to parent in modern times. And because of the idea that we should be perfect, that we've all got this, it can actually add to that sense of overwhelm or doing something wrong. So the issue really is twofold. There's how we're relating to our babies, the environment we're creating for our babies, which is going to give them the greatest potential to flourish and to grow and to bring their medicine and their gifts and their creativity to this planet, which raises the vibration of everybody, and it helps to heal our lineage, and it's just the joy of being alive. So there's that desire, and then alongside that, which can't be separated, is the desire and the need to nurture parents so they have that capability and they have the capacity to do it. We can't look at either of these two things in isolation. And when we focus on one, then the other one can feel out of balance. So we need to create this beautiful synergy during this first 1001 days. And this is why somatic practices and coming into the body is so powerful, because it's cultural, intergenerational, and available to us now. And so I bring good news. I bring good news that if you're listening to this now, there is this opportunity to make a change right here, right now, by bringing your awareness to the power of presence, bringing your awareness to the power of connection, bringing your awareness to the power of love, and knowing that everything that you need is actually within you. And that by honoring your feelings, making sure that you allow yourself to experience everything as a parent without judgment, and asking for help and support, and speaking your truth and honoring all of those things, there is a way forward that can feel like grace rather than feeling like grit. So the way that I have brought this message into the world over the last 20 years is through our mantra at Blossom and Berry, which is love creates love. So when you love, nurture, and support parents and carers, they have a greater capacity to love, nurture, and support babies. And then babies grow with love and nurturing support. They interact with their peers, with their friends in this way. And this is how we change the world, by nurturing the future one baby at a time. And it all starts with love. So the message of love creates love is to allow yourself to be here now and to feel what arises, because love is not love and light. It's not about just the joy and the celebration and the happiness and the bliss and the ecstasy that we experience as human beings. It's also about the grief and the challenges and the anger and the rage that arises. But the power of love is to bring it all together so that everything is welcome and nothing is pushed away or repressed or buried within ourselves. It's to illuminate it all, to be loved. And imagine how powerful this can be for our children to be living, breathing, embodied examples of human beings who accept themselves exactly as they are. Because as parents, we are mirrors to our babies. So the more that you love yourself, the more that you allow these emotions to move through, to be expressed, the more permission you're actually giving to your baby to do this. And that's why somatic work brings all of this up to the surface. So baby massage, for example, puts love into action. So babies understand love through their bodies, through the physical presence of their parent and caregiver. The skin is the largest, most developed organ at birth. So it's through the skin that you help to regulate the nervous system. This is why babies love to be held and to be rocked and to be swaddled and to be carried, because you're literally feeding your baby with love, and your baby feels safe, contained, protected, just like the original environment of the womb. So at Blossom and Berry, we talk about creating a love bubble through baby massage and baby yoga, where we come together and bring the 5 really important ingredients to help to create a loving, connected bond. And that's eye gazing, talking to your baby, sound of your voice, singing, touch through baby massage or chest or breastfeeding or baby wearing or cuddling, oxytocin, which is the love hormone that chemically helps us fall in love with each other, and exchange of smells that just comes naturally by being close to your baby. So when these 5 key ingredients are present, we create what we call the love bubble, where you are giving yourself to your baby. You're giving your baby the greatest gift that is available for you to give, which is your presence, your time, your energy. You're holding this sacred space for your baby to be witnessed, to be heard, to be seen, and to allow your baby to simply be exactly as they are. And that is true love, is to love someone exactly as they are and allow them to be freely expressed and hold the space for everything that arises in between. So this practice of coming together through baby massage and through baby yoga is so much more than just, supporting the body, helping to strengthen bones, increase circulation, supporting the immune system, helping with things like wind and colic and constipation. It's about presence. It's about literally communicating love. And there's so much research that supports this. The Heart Math Institute has done many studies on how the resonance of our hearts affects everyone around us through our field. And they did a study on new mothers where when a mother gave her attention and her thoughts and her presence to her baby, her heart then started to create a field that then connected with her baby's heart, and they came into resonance with each other. So there's that sense of connection that is beyond anything that can be experienced through the mind. It is simply felt through the heart and through the body. And that's what gives us this sense of safety, it gives us that authentic relationship, which is what being a human being is all about, I believe. We're all just here to walk each other home and care for each other really, really deeply. So that's the power of baby massage and baby yoga, is that we have this opportunity to create what we call the love loop, which is this loop of giving and receiving with your baby, tuning in and allowing your baby to get to know you, and for you to get to know your baby, and to create that reciprocal relationship, which is, nothing ever goes one way. Everything that we give out is received by the field around us. So once we become aware of this again, it just gives us the opportunity for tenderness, for care, for responsiveness, for empathy, for compassion, for the fact that babies come into this world, and for the first 2 years, they have no sense of themselves. They're experiencing the world through the field of our hearts, of our energy, of our bodies. We are the North Star, we are the compass, we are the mirror. So when we love ourselves as parents and carers, we have this greater capacity to love our babies, and that's why love creates love. So it is so powerful, and can start literally right now, through a touch, through a cuddle, through eye gazing, through a gentle song, through any type of physical touch. You can start to produce oxytocin, and you'll start to notice that you're becoming into synergy with your baby. And that is just, such an incredible gift. Let's come out of our heads into our hearts. Let's let go of expectation and come into the experience. Let's come out of separation and competition and come into co-creation with our babies, and allow our babies to teach us. They are the most powerful, the most incredible teachers. If you've ever spent time with a baby, you'll know that they are non-judgmental, they are fully accepting, they let things go, they're in connection with the magic and the wonder and the awe of life. Babies are powerful teachers, and they come here to help us to remember what we've forgotten, which is that we are love, that we are all love. So when we start to let go of all of these ideas of how we should be being as parents, or that there's one way or there's a linear path, that we create so much more space and freedom to enjoy the magic and mystery that unfolds in the relationship with your baby. And somatic work for me is the path, it is the key to do this. And you can find out more about how to massage your baby on our website, blossomandberry.com, and check out some of our videos about yoga as well. But this is all about intuitive practices. I am sharing a lineage that comes from India, but is practiced all across the world. This is not something that I have created. This is something that exists within us all, as that mammalian instinct to touch, to nurture, and to connect. This is just about accessing your inner wisdom and your knowledge, your intuition, and what is being carried in your DNA. It's just a time to remember and to honor these practices from across the world and within us, and whatever feels good, so that you can just start here and now and offer this beautiful gift and invitation to your baby. And then we have nature, which is really so powerful right now. It's always been our greatest teacher in so many ways. It holds all of the answers. It brings us back home to ourselves. It allows us to see the interconnection of life, the cycles of life, the seasons. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful teacher. And as a new parent, it offers us so much, because we can see the impermanence of everything, the changing nature of everything, the growth, the expansion that occurs with ease and grace and flow. And it invites us to enter into that on our parenting journey with our babies, and just to meet what arises every single day as a gift, as a joy, as an opportunity for abundance. And it also gives us the opportunity to find ways to see that letting go and the alchemy of like destruction and also death, letting go of the old identities of yourself or old practices that you might have had, to embrace the new. This is all part of life and the journey, and that we can surrender to this. So nature is who we are. There is no separation. The five elements that we see around us, the earth, the air, the fire, the water, the ether, is what exists in everything, in every expression of love that we find in nature and in the animal kingdom. It's all the same. There is no separation. So that's why coming into nature gives us this peace. It gives us this serenity. It allows us to be held and to know that everything is interconnected and moving forward into more and more love. So when we think about this environment, then this surely must be the very first place to bring babies to. So I have, for the last 5 years, been talking about moving baby classes outside into nature as soon as we can, rather than the first environment that babies meet to be plastic, sitting in a kind of artificial environment with plastic toys, with parents and carers sitting on plastic chairs, drinking things out of plastic cups. We want to move away from this. We want to come back and earth bond our babies, so that the very first environment that they have is nature. So they know that they are nature, there is no separation, and that there is this joy that is available to them. And I call this earth bonding your baby. So yes, it's important to bond with your baby as as a human being, but also bonding babies to nature is going to safeguard this planet. Because when babies have a relationship with nature that is based again on give and receive, this allows babies to understand the relationship of deep care that is needed to protect the planet and to provide everything that we are receiving now. Earth is giving us everything. Every single thing that we receive comes from the earth. So this relationship is absolutely vital for the survival of our planet and our species, and for all species. So bringing babies into nature right at the beginning, for me, has to be the way. And so Tree Babies was born during COVID, because we couldn't gather inside. And we took babies outside into nature through baby wearing and lots of different practices like mindfulness, um, uh, journaling, forest bathing, nature mandalas, breath work, all of these different modalities, which then allowed that space for us all to breathe. So through the pandemic, we rediscovered that nature is the place to go to feel this deep connection to ourselves, to our babies, to each other. And that actually, when we come into nature, we just have this sense of embracing whatever arises. And in the UK, the weather is so changeable. In every session is completely different, which again reminds us that every day, every moment is completely different. And it's this mentality, this philosophy that we see embodied in nature, when we bring it into our lives in parenting, can have profound effects. And we realize that it's easier to surrender into the flow, into the trust, into the process of constant evolving and changing and transformation, than to resist, because that causes pain and it can cause suffering. So the Tree Babies classes have been incredible. And the activities, as I said, range from singing, drumming outside, forest bathing, sharing circles, finding your family tree best friend. So you've got this anchor point that then, as your children grow, that tree is always there. You can leave rituals, you can have celebrations, you can honor the seasonal wheel. There's so much beauty and creativity in nature that just requires us to go outside and just to receive. It's absolutely amazing. And for babies, nature is the perfect sensory environment. So we need to move away from these classes I'm seeing a lot of globally where there's so much going on, there's so much activity, there's flashing lights, there's music, there's so many different themes, and babies don't need this. The most important thing for babies in the first 1001 days is love-based learning. That's what I call it. So this is the right brain learning. It's the emotional, the social, it's the feeling, it's the heart. And nature keys directly into that by providing the absolutely perfect level of sensory stimulation that babies need through all of their senses, through the smell of the forest, through the sound of the birds, through the sunlight coming through the leaves, through the touch of their hands on the bark. All of these different things, they're just perfectly attuned to our nervous system to give babies the amount of stimulation that allows them to grow into their environment, but without the overwhelm, without the constant hits of dopamine and things changing and one thing after the other, and this linear path of first we do this and then we do that. Like, let's open up into the magic and the mystery. Let's open up into the curiosity. Let's take babies outside to see what the real world feels like, which is chaotic and wild, and a web of interwoven different elements and birds and animals and the sights and the smells and all of this incredible magic that nature gives us. This is available to us in some shape or form for most people in the world. Even if you're living in a high-rise block of flats, you can bring fresh flowers in or fruit or have a plant in your house, something that is giving that connection to nature. And if you're lucky enough to live where I am near the woods, you can go to nature every single day. And what we know is just simply 15 minutes of nature can restore and reset our nervous system. So here, that is a big loop around back to where I started, which is about the power of the first 1001 days and what we have the opportunity to create during this first 1001 days, and to ask ourselves some really big questions about what patterns we want to reinforce with our babies. What beliefs do we want to reinforce with our babies? We are the collective soil in which humanity grows. We create it through our actions, through our beliefs, through our thoughts, through the way we lead ourselves, through what we create. And so when we start to take radical responsibility for this in our own lives, and when we become parents, this is even more important for our babies. We can give them the gift of knowing that they are loved, that they are seen, that they are heard, which is the foundation of infant mental health. And infant mental health is everybody's mental health. So this is why it's so powerful. And it all starts with love, because love creates love. So my invitation for you today is to go out and connect with yourself, with your baby, with your family, with your community through any act of love, however small, and to really come into the body just for a small amount of time today to allow yourself to experience your feelings, and then go into nature and sit and listen and learn and witness and observe. And through this, we can find a strong pathway to love, which I believe will change humanity. Thank you very much.